Frangie Show on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Hey, we welcome you to a very special edition of the program right here on a Tuesday. It's brought to you by our friends at the Nimnick family of dealerships. Thanks to Nimnick Chevrolet and Nimnick Buick GMC, the best car dealerships around, and proud to be their spokesman for the longest time. We're live, by the way, at probably America's greatest Publix.
I mean, this is a Taj Mahal.
We are at the Publix here on International Parkway in St. Augustine. International Parkway, where International Parkway meets 17, right across from Turquoise Creek High School is where we are. It's easy to find here. And we are in a Publix with a sports bar. I'm not going to say the bar's been raised, but I now refuse to ever shop at a grocery store ever again without a sports bar. Okay, we are sitting at
you got to have standards.
We are at the Publix Sports Bar. There's all the craft beers up there. There's the wine, and there's a ball game going on.
It's fantastic.
This is like it's the greatest Publix of all time, and I'm never shop. I don't. It may be 25 minutes from my house, but this is where I'm shopping now.
Yeah.
So Suzanne, we got to go to Publix. We don't need anything. We're going anyway.
They've got an amazingly extensive wine collection. They've got a bottle over there. Selling for $350, so I put you down for $7.
Yeah, thank you for that.
We'll just have a after-show party.
It's worth it to come to this Publix. So we do want to thank our friends from Publix, from Coca-Cola, by the way, and our friends from the Jaguars for putting this on. It's a special day. It's a Jaguar celebration where you just get to meet some players. And we think Monteric Brown, Yasir Abdullah, and Josiah DeGuara are the three coming. We'll update you if that changes at all. But they will be upstairs, by the way. A lot of people are already lining up for the autographs. They will be upstairs. By the way, it's a two-deck Publix.
Yes.
Okay, so they're on the second level, but there's a walkway to the second level, and that's where the players will be, and that'll be at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
But you thought the fun started at 5, didn't you? Well, that's where you were wrong.
I was wrong.
We are giving away 5 fantastic raffle items, and again, thanks to Coke, Publix, and the Jaguars. 3 replica helmets, not the mini helmets, the big ones.
Real deal.
3 replica helmets plus $200 gift certificates to Publix. We're raffling them off between $445 and $450. You need to be here to win. Just fill out the form, put it in the box. You can fill out one form, put it in the box, and you've got a chance to win. 5 prizes are going out, and we're giving them away between $445 and $450. You need to be here though. So we're doing that, and then the autograph starts right after that at 5 o'clock. So we're looking forward to it. We're happy to be here on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. Again, we are at the Publix on International Parkway, near in the St. Augustine area, kind of North St. Aug, near where it meets 17, State Road 16. I'm sorry. But, again, if you know the area, we're really right across from Turquoise Creek High School.
Right. If you're looking to put it in your phone, it's 170 Village Commons Drive.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But right across from the high school. So come on by again. Put your name. We're right at the front. We're near the sports bar because, of course, we are. But put your name in the box. We're going to give away 5. Again, really nice full-size replica Jaguar helmets, 3 of them. Plus 2 gift certificates, $100 gift certificates to Publix. And, again, upstairs is where the autograph signing.
Great that there'll be 5 winners.
Yeah.
And that's before you get to meet the Jaguar players and get their autograph.
Exactly right. Even before the autographs, you get to 5 winners. So we're excited about this. Thanks to our friends from Coke, Publix, and Jaguars. And, of course, we always thank my friends Billy and Lee Nimnick and all the folks from Nimnick. Always the Nimnick Tuesday around here. A lot of things to talk about today. I want to talk about the Jags a little bit, where that thing's headed. I will tell you this. Matt Hays will join me at 5 o'clock to talk SEC football. Boy, does Florida Ole Miss have intriguing storylines.
Big time.
I mean, Hayes, if you really look at all the storylines in that game, from Florida's ascending more than they've been in a long while, Ole Miss is having what could turn into the best season since the Archie Manning days, since the Johnny Vaught days.
They might win the national title.
They certainly are in the hunt. They certainly.
I mean, you're talking about a team that's second in the nation in total offense and 16th in the nation in total defense. I don't know that there's a lot of clubs that stack up like that. I mean, Ole Miss is a complete team. They're an electric team. They might win the national title.
I mean, and certainly they're well positioned. But having said that, because of the 2 losses, every game's now an elimination game.
Absolutely.
So even though they are positioned to win the whole thing, every game is an elimination game for Ole Miss. So
imagine the pressure in Oxford. You beat Georgia,
correct?
Thump Georgia,
right? Yeah.
Then you go into a bye week, and all you're going to hear for 2 weeks, if you're the Rebels, is obviously you're going to go to the swamp and destroy Florida.
Correct, right?
And where's the seeding going to be? But in the back of their minds, they know 60 minutes of poor football, and you're out.
And we just went through about 4 or 5 storylines. We haven't gotten to Kiffin in Florida yet.
Yeah.
Of all the storylines we read through, The Kiffin in Florida thing has died down now that Billy's going to be there another year, but it's still all anybody talked about for 2 months was is Florida going to fire Napier and are they going to try and hire Kiffin? So all those storylines are real, So we'll certainly talk about that coming up a little bit later on.
Kiffin 0-2 against the Gators lifetime.
Yeah, Kiffin has never beaten them, and I'll mention it again. I know you can't do comparative scores because different times of the season, but Ole Miss has lost 2 games. The 2 teams that beat them, Kentucky and LSU, Florida beat them both. Now, again, that doesn't necessarily mean anything, but if the game ends and Florida has won, well, then it will have meant something.
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll certainly talk about that. So that comes up.
And no pressure on the Gators, really.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's almost house money.
There's whatever pressure they put on themselves,
but
there's not a lot of external pressure on Florida to win this game.
If they beat a really struggling Florida State team a week from Saturday, then they are going to wind up in my opinion, either the Gator Bowl or the Outback Bowl. If they lose to Ole Miss and beat them, I think it's probably the Gator Bowl. If they win them both, I think it's probably the Outback Bowl. Now we'll have Greg McGarity tomorrow or Thursday to sort out how incredibly wrong I got all of that. but I do think it's somewhere in there. So the bowl pressure, unless they lose to Florida State, which they could, by the way.
Sure.
But the bowl pressure is over. So we'll certainly talk about that. The Jags off week. Boy, that's a team that needs an off week in the worst way. I agree that Doug Peterson, when he said that, it just for a lot of reasons. Number one, anybody that has not had it yet, including the Texans, you need it now. It's a late time, late in the year to have an off week. I do think, and it's not an excuse, it's just my assessment of it. I do think the fact that this team did go to London for 2 weeks. This team, it has been an emotional season, given the expectations and the way it's gone. This team is probably more emotionally drained than you ordinarily would be. It's not an excuse, it's an assessment. And I may be right or wrong about that, but I think it is in play. I truly believe that.
I think it is in play. I thought it was interesting yesterday when Doug Peterson talked about, the 2 games in London, moving forward. Is that something the franchise should look at? And I think there is some sense to that. Now, we'll see with the stadium and things like that. It's going to be on a different schedule now because of the stadium reconstruction in terms of, their commitment and what they're going to be doing over in London. But yeah, I think there's some merit to it that spending 2 weeks over there and then not taking the bye immediately and instead hosting Green Bay, if that is something that they'll continue to want to do in years to come, and we'll see. But Frank, I go back to, again, they're going to get some rest. Then you come back to a schedule that couldn't lay out any better. You get 7-4 Houston at home, who will be playing their 13th game in 13 weeks. You then get a road trip to Tennessee, followed by a home date against the Jets, at the Raiders, home against the Titans, and at the Colts. Even if you include 7-4 Houston, the remaining opponents combined for a 21-42 record. That's what's so frustrating.
Yes.
Is if you could have just gotten to this point, still in it.
2 more wins.
It was begging for a late season surge.
Even if you were 4-7 now, even if you were 4-7 with that you were 3-7 2 years ago, and went on the run and won the division. Even if you were 4-7 now, so a couple games. So, but it is what it is. So we'll talk a little bit about Jags off week. We're remiss if we don't point out that the storyline ever since the end of the game on Sunday was, will there be changes? Nobody knows, and I will applaud Shad Khan again for this. And I'm not trying to be anti-Jerry Jones or anti these other owners, but I think it's in his best interest that he doesn't go around talking. You know what I mean? Shad's not a guy that says, I'm going to do that. He doesn't do a lot of interviews. You look up, Jerry Jones is doing an interview. Right,
he does
about
it
now.
after every game.
So the fact that Shad stays quiet, I think, matters. I don't know where I've gone back and forth on this. I thought, okay, everybody seems to think some sort of a change is coming because of how badly they lost to the Lions on the heels of a year of expectations turning into 2-9. So I said, maybe people are right. I'm not sure. I believed it at first. Maybe something's going to happen. Like everybody, we looked to see if anything was going to happen between the end of the game on Sunday and yesterday. Then Doug Peterson was at his news conference, which told me that, you know what, nothing's happening to the end of the year, which is kind of where my head is now. I now think nothing's happening with Trent Baalke, with Doug Peterson, with any other coaches until the end of the year. That's kind of where my head is now. But now I do wonder that there still hasn't been any comment either way. There certainly hasn't been a vote of confidence. The Kismet, and I don't even know if this matters, by the way, but it's hard to hide.
It matters.
The Kismet's still in town. I saw it today.
That matters.
Yeah, and it was
because that means Shad Khan is here on Jaguar business.
You would, I don't know enough about the inner workings of he and his business, but logic would tell you that, right?
I think so. I mean, the stadium deal's done.
Yeah.
So I would think a lot of that is now, in the rearview mirror.
Yeah.
So, are they having meetings today and things like that? They certainly might be.
But it is here. I saw it. I was downtown today. And I saw it around lunchtime. By the way, that's a big boat.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that is a really big boat.
When Gene and I were in London, we were having dinner right by Tower Bridge. And so obviously you're around all these world-class monuments, and the foot traffic by the Kismet was unbelievable. I mean, because people just could not believe the scope of that yacht, and so even in a place like London, downtown London, it was the star of the show.
All right, so we'll talk about that today during an off week. We do some off week stuff today. I think one of the things we want to do today is I want to talk about Jaguar players. Plus and minus, or arrow pointing up, arrow pointing down. Who's better than you thought they might have been? Who's more disappointing than you expected? Who's about where you thought they'd be? Let's go through some Jaguar players today. We'll do that in our first segment. We'll talk some college football after that. And do want to remind you, we're here at Publix in St. Augustine on International Parkway, where International Parkway meets State Road 16. We're right across from Tucoy Creek High School. We're giving away 5 terrific Jaguar-related raffle items, 3 Jaguar replica helmets, and again, not the little mini helmets, the big ones that are going to look great on your mantle. 3 of those replica helmets are giving away, plus 2 $100 gift certificates to Publix. Put your name in our box here. Come on by. You have to be here to win. And between 4:45 and 4:50, we are going to give these away. And then after that, a number of Jaguar players will be upstairs here signing autographs, and they look forward to meeting you. Again, we've been told the early list: Monteric Brown, Yasir Absullah, and Josiah DeGuara, tight end. We leave that open for change if something happens, but those are the players we expect, at least as we see it here. So a lot to talk about. Let's talk some Jaguar football, some plus and minus. Who's arrow pointing up, arrow pointing down, arrow pointing sideways with some Jaguar players. A little bit of a midseason report. College football talk coming up in just a bit. It's the Nimnik Tuesday. Glad you're with us. Frangie Carlyon and JJ LaSelva. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Have breakfast with 1010XL on game day.
What's that supposed to mean?
It's a game day buffet.
That smells good. What is that?
It's the Terminix Kickoff Show. Presented by Clearwater Irrigation and Gatorade. 5 hours before kickoff on 1010XL.
Hey, sports fans, it's Hays Carlyon from MyBookie. Find your holiday season stride with MyBookie. Take advantage of their live betting, especially if a heavy favorite gets off to a slow start. And check out their cool prop bets. If you haven't signed up, go to mybookie.ag and register for a free account. Use promo code 1010XL to get a double bonus. For a limited time, MyBookie will double your money on your first deposit. Let's take a look at some updated MyBookie lines. The Gators are a 9.5-point underdog to Ole Miss in the Swamp. Second-ranked Ohio State is a 12-point home favorite over undefeated Indiana. In the NFL, the Packers are a 2-point favorite over the visiting 49ers. Sign up with that promo code 1010XL to claim your deposit bonus. Again, it's a double bonus. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie, and don't forget that promo code 1010XL.
Lauren Brooks here. Why buy from Hodges Mazda at the Avenues? Because they strive to ensure a satisfying and comfortable car buying experience. And now they're giving back. Hodges Mazda wants to say thank you to all educators, first responders, and healthcare providers by offering a complimentary oil change and car wash during the Mazda A Season to Move You event. Call today or schedule online at HodgesMazda.com. Come experience for yourself the Hodges Mazda difference. Free oil change not to exceed $79.99. Excludes diesel vehicles. Expires December 31st, 2024. See dealer for complete details.
Frank Frangie here, and I can't say enough good things about the team at Sunshine Turf and the work they've done for us. Let Sunshine Turf transform your backyard into a low-maintenance oasis that will be green all year long with artificial turf. Caleb and his team can help you create the lush outdoor space of your dreams, whether you want a durable place for your kids to play or you're ready to say goodbye to muddy paw prints. Visit sunshineturf.info or call 904-383-0243 for a free quote today from Sunshine Turf.
Jaguars fans, want to meet some of your favorite players? Coke Florida, Publix Supermarkets, and the Jags are giving you the chance. Join 1010XL at Publix, 170 Village Commons Drive, St. Augustine, Tuesday, November 19th at 5. For autographs, pictures, raffles, and more. Get off the sidelines and get to Publix to grab an ice-cold Coca-Cola, Coke Zero Sugar, or any of your favorite Coca-Cola beverages using Publix digital app. The Jaguars and Coke Florida. There's magic when we cheer together at Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Injured in an accident? Have mounting medical bills? Can't work? Don't worry. Zach's got your back. I'm Zach Von Rowan of Von Rowan Law. I will fight for the compensation that you deserve. Set up your free consultation at zachsgotyourback.com.
Pickin here with a message from Zero Res. You gotta just love this time of the year as we reflect on the things that matter most. Families, homes, the holidays, and of course football. They're very grateful for you all, the good people of Jacksonville, and they want to thank you. So get ready for the holidays. Book today, and Zero Res will clean your carpets for only $49 a room. Plus, they'll give you 25% off your tile cleaning. This one fills up fast, so book now on both carpet and tile. Zero Res, fill it forwards or backwards. It's the right way to clean.
The best teal-colored coverage includes Mia's Quick Hits.
Get the latest news from inside the building and around the league. I'm Mia O'Brien, 1010XL's NFL Insider.
Driven by Arlington Toyota. Available on the video and social channels of 1010XL.
A lot of companies will tell you they're the best. At Custom Tree Surgeons, they show you every time. Custom Tree Surgeons has built an all-pro team. Every tree service professional has years of experience, continually trained and certified. They know what, when, and how to handle any job. It gets done efficiently and quickly by a team of experts. So for tree trimming, removal, stump grinding, and emergency services, forget any name other than Custom Tree Surgeons. There is no job they can't do better. Go to our website, CustomTreeSurgeons.com. That's CustomTreeSurgeons.com, and let them show you how the job is supposed to get done.
Grab your lucky spot on the couch, because traditions make Sunday easy to enjoy. Bud Light, easy to Sunday, easy to enjoy. Bud Light is the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus. Copyright 2024. Anheuser-Busch. Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
It's Thanksgiving week, and Monahan Jewelers has the best deals in town with up to 40% off the entire store. Thousands of beautiful pieces are all on sale with fantastic prices on our entire inventory, including up to 30% off on GIA certified diamonds. We're your local family jeweler, so come visit us today and on Small Business Saturday for up to 40% off on diamond studs, engagement rings, colored gemstones, our designer brands, custom design, everything. The name you can trust in fine jewelry, Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. Hurricanes happen in Florida. That's not news. But what happens even more often than hurricanes are home break-ins. And if security is important to you, you might want to look into hurricane-rated impact windows.
What you may not know is that hurricane-rated impact windows not only help protect your home in case of a hurricane, but they also offer another level of security for your home.
Have you seen those videos on YouTube that show people trying to break through an impact window? A thief is way too lazy to spend his energy trying to break through one of our impact windows. That's why he doesn't have a real job like you. He'd rather break your non-impact window while you're at work. Window World has high-quality, very affordable hurricane-rated impact windows to help protect your home from hurricanes and from lazy thieves.
Call us today at 904-443-7001. Get a free estimate and see for yourself. You save energy, get more security, and the windows add value to your home. With all Window World windows, you get the best guarantee in the window replacement business.
Window World,
simply the best for less.
And thank you for your business.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Nimnik Tuesday on The Frangie Show. Nimnik, your friends in the car business since 1941.
Frangie Carlyon with you live from Publix again. Come on by. We've got a lot of people put their names in the box. Put your name in the box. We're giving away 5 terrific raffle items. 3 full-size replica Jaguar helmets, 2 $100 gift certificates to Publix. We're going to draw them all at about 4:45 or 4:50. Want you to be down here and then head upstairs and get autographs from Jaguar players. They'll be doing it from 5 to 6. Compliments of our friends at Coca-Cola, Publix, and the Jags. So thanks to all of them, and we're glad to be here. And also want to remind you, every Tuesday, a Nimnik Tuesday around here. Trevor Lawrence, arrow up, arrow down, arrow sideways.
I mean, I think you have to say arrow down. Now, it doesn't mean that I think the arrow is going to stay there, because I think environmentally a lot of things, beyond Trevor's control have gone wrong. But certainly, I think if you were expecting him to be in the MVP running and compete for, all pro and Pro Bowl accolades, obviously that's not going to happen this year. So, other than the Houston loss, I think Trevor's played pretty well.
Yeah.
Again, I think it's just been so much around him that just hasn't gone the way that we would have liked. So the arrow is very much up, I think, for his future. But for this season, I'd have to say arrow down.
Yeah, I'll go sideways. I don't think he's been great. I don't think he's been bad. What my expectation, and I think he's had some bad things around him. I really do think the line has struggled. I don't think it's been a clean pocket very often. The receivers have been hurt. Also think at times he's played badly. He's made too many mistakes. So I'm not going to go up or down. I'll go sideways. Travis Etienne.
Down, because I really thought he was somebody that could be in the mix for 1,800 yards of offense this year. Maybe 1,200 on the ground, 600 through the air, and obviously he's not going to come close to that. Plus, you've ceded some territory if you're ETN to Tank Bigsby. So what was going into the year we kind of thought would be probably 80% ETN, 20% Tank Bigsby is now, when they're both healthy, I would think is very much a 50-50 proposition. So I would say arrow down for ETN.
Arrow down for me. I like Travis. I'm a big fan of Travis Etienne. I think he's one of the really good players. But I made the comment before the season he's one of the top 10 backs in the league. Part of it's a shoulder. Part of it was a hamstring. But availability is part of it. So I would say arrow down for ETN for me. Tank Bigsby.
Way up.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that he's battling through the ankle, but he has shown skills that are going to translate to a very long career in this league, and so that's been great to see. He still has things he's got to improve on, obviously, just being in his second year. His pass protection in his last game was really poor, and that's got to get better. But in terms of providing the physical presence, getting his confidence back too, that was a big thing last year. He lost it early, was never able to get it back. Now we've seen Tank Bigsby and what he looks like as a confident player, and I think it's very encouraging moving forward.
Yeah, I think way up. If he had a team where the team was playing better, whether he was playing, I think I'm watching all these physical downhill runners in the league. He's one of them. I think he's got a real chance. So arrow up. Here's a hard one now. I think it's going to take a long time to think through this one. Brian Thomas Jr. Take your time on that one.
I'm going to go arrow up on Brian Thomas Jr. What a special rookie season that he's having for this organization, and not just the production, but really does seem to be wired exactly how you'd want a star player to be wired. And look, there's a litany of things that he's going to get better at when he heads into his second year and beyond. But I think Brian Thomas has shown that he can be absolutely a potentially elite player at this level. And so I think you have to be excited about where Brian Thomas is heading. Two huge thumbs, arrows up for me.
Couldn't be much more up, could it? He's going to be a star in this league. In a league where the good receivers are becoming the stars of the league. The receivers in the history of the NFL, receivers have never mattered more than they do now. That doesn't mean Jerry Rice isn't the greatest to ever play. I still think he is. That doesn't mean T.O. and Michael Irvin and so many players of recent past aren't great players. But the way the game is structured now, the way the game's played horizontally, the way the passing percentages are higher than ever, pass attempts are higher than ever, completion percentage is way up. Players in space have more opportunities in space than ever before. Receivers really mattered. He really does. Evan Ingram.
Down, which I hate to say, because I think Evan is such a great player and certainly a consummate pro. But I think you miss games early in the year where his presence could have been the difference in some of those close losses that they had when he was out. And so I think because of the injury and now he's healthy, but their record is where it is. I would say it would have to be arrow down. I would think even Evan would probably say that he's been disappointed with how these first 11 games have gone.
I'll go sideways only because I think he's been a great leader and he's had little help. I think so. I'll go sideways on him because I like a lot about him. Gabe Davis.
massive arrow down. I mean, he never really was able to make any kind of impact. Now he's hurt. He's out for the year with the meniscus injury. You know, he's going to obviously be on the team next year because these contracts, when you sign a free agent of consequence, it's really difficult to get out from under it. It almost does you no good to release him. So he'll be a Jaguar next year, but he'll be under a lot of pressure to make it to year 3 in Jacksonville.
The biggest surprise of individual players, the biggest surprise of the season to me is that he hasn't made more of an impact. I really thought Gabe Davis would make a huge impact. The offensive line as a whole.
I think you'd have to go arrow down. Now, there's been some success stories in there, but as a whole, I think the unit has been a problem more than it's been, certainly a dominant unit. So for me, I would go arrow down.
I would too. I think that's one group that I thought. Now, again, it's changed a bunch. Your left tackle that you thought would be your left tackle is gone. Your left guard, you've played some time without him. You brought in a backup in Cooper Hodges that got hurt immediately, a really bad injury for a kid that looked like he was going to be a player. Anton Harrison's been up and down, but I would say down. I would say.
Is there an individual that you would give an arrow up to?
If I broke it down like that, I think some of them have been okay. I don't think anybody is I don't say, wow, they're bad because this one guy stinks up the joint. I don't think that. So I don't know that there's one guy. I certainly love Sheriff's toughness. You can't keep him out of the game. Anton Harrison at times is very good, but at times hasn't been. So I don't know that there's one guy for me that I've said, wow, the rest of the offensive line struggled, but that guy's been great. Now maybe I don't have a great eye for it. And look, I called the games. I get the ball. So I'm, other than when I go back and watch games, and I'll be honest with you, if I'm being really honest, when I go back and watch games, I watch the ball again. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I can tell you, I go back and watch games on Monday because I watch every game. I watch every game a second time. I can tell you, I go back and watch, but I don't. I watch the ball. The same.
I wouldn't even, honestly, if I sat down and watched offensive line play, unless it's obvious where either
you wouldn't know if they're in the right
our
gap.
guy pancakes a guy or the Jaguar guy gets knocked back.
Right.
I mean, other than something obvious, I'm not going to know. I mean, where his hands are supposed to be and where is he in the position he's supposed to be to get the block?
Did he block the wrong guy? Same with me. Josh Hines-Allen.
I think I'd have to go arrow down. Again, it's a tough grade because he's been a great player. And when you're coming off a season of 17.5 sacks, I think the numbers just not being there, I'd say arrow down. Now, I think he's been disruptive. I think Josh Hines-Allen has some really good years still in Jacksonville to come in his career. So I would kind of say the same thing that I said about Trevor. Arrow up for his future, but for this season, I would say arrow down.
I'll go arrow sideways because I don't think the bar should be 17.5 sacks. I think the bar should be a good 12, 13 sack season. And my guys tell me he's playing really well. He's just not getting much help. Trayvon Walker.
I would say arrow up. I like that. I like how he's developed, and I think he's been consistently disruptive as well as Josh. And so I would say with Trayvon, there's certainly been some. He's had penalties, things like that, but for the most part, I really like what I'm seeing out of Trayvon Walker. I think he is absolutely a building block for whatever the next vision of Jaguars football is.
Agreed. Arrow up. And the barometer can't be Aiden Hutchinson. You can't measure him based on what another player in the league's doing. What you ask him, is he a good Jaguar? And I think Arrow's way up. I think he's going to be some kind of a player. I really think a very good player.
Again, I would say with him and Hutchinson, don't be surprised when they get to be like 29-30 if Walker surpasses him. Yeah. I understand it sounds nuts now. Right. And Hutchinson's the better player now. I wouldn't argue that. But let's see when we get into the back half of their careers where these two players are.
Okay, I don't think Trayvon's going to catch him or pass him. I don't think he's going to be as good a player as Aiden Hutchinson. That's my opinion. But that's not a knock on Trayvon. I think Aiden Hutchinson is going to be generational. I just think he is going to be a great, great, great player. I mean, I think he may be a Hall of Fame pass rusher. That doesn't mean Trayvon Walker is not going to be really good, because I think he is going to be really good. But I think Aiden Hutchinson's something special. And I think let's quit comparing them. Both teams got really good players. It doesn't matter which one went one or two. I think both play, at least in my mind. The interior of the defensive line as a group.
I mean, I'd say massive arrow down. I mean, they can't generate any sort of consistent rush, even an inconsistent rush. You know, they barely show flashes of really being able to generate any sort of pressure, and I do think that's been a problem. And and it's not like they've been really dominant against the run. Devon Hamilton's had moments, certainly looked great against the Eagles and defending the tush push, but on the whole, I would say I've been very disappointed with what the defensive tackles have brought to the table.
My biggest surprise was that Gabe Davis didn't impact the team much. Other than my biggest group surprise is the defensive tackles. I think they have been no factor. I think they have really struggled. I think coaches have tried to, that's why there's been a bit of a revolving door. Big O's up for a couple weeks, then he's down. Mason Smith is down, then up. Devon Hamilton's impacted at times, other times hasn't. I think in my mind, that group has been one of the most problematic groups in the team. They're trying. There's not an effort issue. They just haven't gotten there. Foye Oluokun.
I would say arrow up for this season. I think Foye's had a nice year. Obviously, the leadership component, the communication component. I don't get the sense that this is what's so odd about Ryan Nielsen, because it's obviously been a complete disaster with him as defensive coordinator. But I don't get the sense that they've busted a lot of things. It's almost like the scheme must just be awful, because I don't get the sense early on. Maybe yes, they were blowing assignments in coverage, but I don't really get the sense that that's been their problem.
Right.
So I think Oluokun, considering the circumstances of, would they probably be better served if he was the defensive coordinator? I'm going to still go arrow up on Foye, because I do think he's been productive in trying circumstances.
Devin Lloyd. By the way, I'll go arrow sideways on Foye. Okay. Foye's been a good, solid player for me. Not up or down, sideways. Devin Lloyd.
I'd say arrow down, because, I think the conversation is we all would like to see Ventrell Miller get more playing time. Ventrell Miller, obviously, a huge arrow up. So I think anytime you're a veteran and a franchise took you with a first-round pick and you're getting pushed by a second-year player that was drafted in the fourth round, I think you have to go arrow down on that season.
Totally agree with that. And we don't even need to talk about Ventrell Miller. Arrow way up on Ventrell Miller. Tyson Campbell, I'm going to ask you three questions. Tyson Campbell by himself, cornerbacks overall, and safeties overall. I'll start with Tyson Campbell.
Tyson Campbell, arrow down, injuries, and he really just hasn't had the kind of elite moments that I think you'd like to have for somebody that, we were hoping in summer when he got the extension that he was going to elevate and become, a top 8 corner in this league, become a top quadrant player at that position. It hasn't happened. And so I would have to say arrow down on Tyson Campbell. And I would probably go, to be honest, arrow down on the position, both at corner and at safety on the whole. I think the safeties have been just, really brutal all year.
I'll go sideways on Tyson Campbell, moderately down on the corners, way down on the safeties. I think the move of Savage back to safety has helped, but I think that's been a struggle. So there you go. Those are our ups and downs. Those are our arrows. I do want to remind you, come on by here. We've got about another 10 minutes, and we're going to give away some terrific raffle prizes. We've got a bunch of people over there getting ready to go get interviews. They're going to go up the stairs. The players will be up the stairs doing interviews, doing autographs. But we're going to give away some cool raffle prizes in about 10 minutes. You got about another 5 minutes or so to come get your name in the box, and we're giving away some cool raffle prizes, replica helmets, gift certificates, all coming up in just a bit. Glad you're with us at this Publix here, right across from Tecoy Creek High School on International Parkway, where International Parkway meets State Road 16 here in St. Augustine. This is 1010XL on 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
If you need an insurance agent, I'll recommend the best guy in town, State Farm agent Craig Dewhurst. Call him at 940-9740. Really good guy, really good agent. Life insurance, homeowners, automotive, you name it, he'll handle it for you. Tell him what you need. He'll assess your whole situation. What kind of coverage do you need? How much coverage? What should your deductible be? What do you make, and how does it fit your cost and your rates? You will love dealing with Craig. What a nice guy he is, and how he'll help you get the right answers. The best in the business. Craig Dewhurst from State Farm, 940-9740.
Hey, it's Linda Beaver. Whether you're new to the area or a longtime resident, you deserve the best and shouldn't settle when buying or servicing your car. At Beaver Toyota, we have built our reputation on trust. You can trust us to provide you the best price, the best selection, and the best experience. You can trust me, your neighbors can trust me, your family can trust me. We will not let you down. Come see us at Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine to let our family take care of yours. Trust me, we're here to wow you.
This is Hays Carlyon for Harrell & Harrell. I was at lunch with my good friend Holt, and he was telling me that sometimes a lawyer can get more from a case than their own client. I was surprised to hear this, but Holt said that doesn't happen with Harrell & Harrell. They'll never take a fee that is greater than their own client. When they say they treat their clients as a person and not a file, they mean it. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, call Harrell & Harrell at 904-251-1111. That's 904-251-1111.
Is your AC ready for the holidays? Bold City Heating and Air ensures your AC stays in tip-top shape. We know that a clean AC is a healthy AC. Upgrade yours for just $96 a month and enjoy free duct cleanings with your new system. Plus, ask about our 0% financing options. Bold City AC. We got the crew. Bold City AC. Visit boldcityac.com.
Movember is Cancer Awareness Month, so educate yourself on the risk factors for prostate and other cancers. Take charge of your health. Many cancers are highly preventable. Trust the physicians at Ackerman Cancer Center. AckermanCancerCenter.com.
I'm Clayton Bromberg, the president of Underwoods. One of the biggest changes we've seen in fine jewelry over the last 25 years has been the growth of jewelry designers. At Underwoods, we're the leader, bringing to North Florida the best names in designer jewelry. In fact, we carry designer lines in a similar way to how clothing stores carry designer labels. The difference is that jewelry designers have to be a little more timeless in their presentations because nobody wants to buy a fine piece of jewelry only to find out the next year it's gone out of style. That's why you'll find at Underwoods the best of the jewelry designer names, those that are tried and true and popular. Names like David Yerman, Roberto Coin, John Hardy, Marco Bichigo, Jude Francis, Lagos, Hippolyta, and a lot more are all available right now at Underwoods. So if you want the best looks in designer jewelry, stop by Underwoods. San Marco, Avondale are the shops of Ponte Vedra.
Go inside the huddle with our QB, David Garrard.
Hey, I know if you give me time, baby, we can do whatever we want.
And get into the head of an NFL signal caller. Mondays from 10 to noon on Jaguars Today. Brought to you by WaterboyJacks.com on 1010XL.
Joint replacement surgery is always a tough decision, but relief from chronic pain may be just around the corner. Dr. George Barra here, and there's a lot to consider to make sure you get the proper diagnosis and best path back to the range of motion and mobility you had. Age, lifestyle, and overall health all play a part. Let the team at Barrier Orthopedics give you a full analysis to help you make the best decision. Log on to BarrierOrthopedics.com or call the office to make an appointment. With offices across Jacksonville and ready to help you feel good again, we'll get you back on the road to recovery at Barrier Orthopedics.
These are interesting economic times. That's why it's so important to have someone you can count on. That's ITP Partners. Jacksonville folks taking care of our Jacksonville money. Experience? You best believe you want to give your hard-earned money to folks you trust. Jeff Hartman, Chris Bryan, Dan Abel, Reed Wingate, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reagan Wright have the expertise and knowledge to help clients in their financial lives, focusing on investment management, financial planning, and risk management. ITP Partners. Financial partners for life. Securities offered through American Portfolios Financial Services, Inc. Member FINRA SIPC.
Mia here. When it comes to roofing, whether it be shingles, metal, or most repairs, there is one name that has protected your home since 1999. Pro-Jax Roofing. Serving all of Northeast Florida, Mike and his guys have been repairing and replacing roofs for 25 years. Need insurance help? Mike's team can help. Raised in a military family, Mike provides great attention to detail with unparalleled quality and workmanship. They also have warranties, so you can have peace of mind. Call Mike today for a free estimate or online at ProJaxRoofingFL.com.
If you're tired of your fence looking like a bad hair day, well, it's time for a fence makeover with Superior Fence and Rail. They'll make your yard the talk of the town with a new fence installed by their expert team.
Your fence is fantastic. My fence is giving all of my neighbors some serious pick and envy. Thanks, Superior Fence and Rail.
So get off the fence and call Superior Fence and Rail for your fence installation project today.
SuperiorFenceandRail.com. Are you a member of the Ran Out of Room Club? Maybe it's a boat, RV, or cars. Maybe it's office space. A luxury storage unit at the Shed is your solution. Opening soon in Atlanta Beach. AC and plumbing available and spots filling fast. Don't join the Ran Out of Time Club. Go to theshedjacks.com.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan.
head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
The injury plague continues to take casualties for a banged-up Jaguars team as they took another hit to their receiving core, with Gabe Davis going down with a torn meniscus during Sunday's loss. Here's his head coach giving an update on his status.
He is going to miss the rest of the season. It is confirmed this morning. Gosh, I hate it for him. He's battled through some injury this season, but he was in good spirits today when I saw him. But he'll miss the remainder of the year.
Davis, who signed as a free agent, only notched 20 catches for 239 yards and 2 touchdowns during his first season in the Teal and Black. I'm Max Fink with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Nimnik Tuesday on the Frangie Show. Nimnik, your friends in the car business since 1941.
All right, we continue along live from Publix here and across from Turquoise Creek High School on International Parkway near State Road 16. Come on by. You got about another 3-4 minutes to put your name in the box. And then after that, in about 5 minutes or 8 minutes, we're going to start drawing for 5 terrific raffle prizes, and then you can head upstairs and get the autographs from some Jaguar players again. Monteric Brown, Yasir Abdullah, Josiah DeGuara are the ones we believe are here, and we'll know that in just a second again. So you got about 3 minutes to come put your name in the box, anybody that hasn't done so, and we're going to start drawing and giving away right about 3 or 4 minutes from now. We'll talk more Jaguar football in a bit. Florida Ole Miss, Matt Hays and I will talk about it in a bit. Great storylines. I think that's another one of those games, Hayes, that if you Gators hang around in that thing, you get to the third quarter and it's a ball game, I think Florida's going to win the game. I think Florida's got to be careful to not get rolled early by a team who's one of the best, if not the most talented they've played.
Well, that's going to be the thing. We saw when Texas had a week to prepare for Florida, they embarrassed them because Sark had time to dial up some things they hadn't put on film yet. It's going to be the same thing with Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss. If you give him a bye week, he is going to have some things ready for you. So Florida's going to have to do a much better job of anticipating what those things are, because if Florida starts blowing coverages left and right, it won't matter how loud the swamp is. That place is going to get quiet quickly.
Right.
So I think that's the biggest thing. You're probably going to see Lane throw those punches in his first 20 snaps. So if Florida can just sort of hang in and not get fooled, then I think physically, I think they have a chance, particularly playing at home, to make it a game. And then obviously it comes down to DJ Lagway's health. Can he run it a little bit this week? I wouldn't anticipate that he'll try much. I would think it'll be very much the LSU plan where he's going to deliver consistently from the pocket. But that is something that Ole Miss might have to be more cognizant of if Lagway, particularly early in the game, proves to them that hamstring is fine for him to take off.
Yeah, 3 major things before we give away these tickets in just a second. 3 major things on that game to what you said.
Evan's ready.
Yeah, Evan is ready.
Evan is ready.
Yeah. 3 major things. It'll help defending what Kiffin does because they've seen Sark. They think alike. They were on the Alabama staff together. They've both been at USC. I think that helps. Number 2, because I think your points are all valid. Number 2, the game's at home. So Texas had all that and 100,000 on their side. I think that matters. And number 3, Lagway's playing. And I know my defense, but how the offense does and how an offense stays on the field and how an offense inspires affects the defense. So 3 major differerences between the Texas game and the Ole Miss game: the venue, the fact that they've seen Sark already, or they've seen an offense like this already, and the fact that DJ Lagway is playing. All right, we're going to round up everybody. We're going to give away some prizes now. We want to announce to the folks over there that we are giving away the prizes. If you want to go let them know that let's go ahead and bring that box over here. Hey, Tom, if you will. We're going to go ahead and so we're going to start giving away prizes right now to anybody who put the name in the box. We want to tell everybody that if they want to. I know it's hard because they don't want to lose their place in line, and I get that. So anybody that's in line, we won't make them lose because they're in line.
And you can pull the names out.
Put it in real
for
quick.
us.
Jumping in real quick. You got a chance. Okay.
Oh.
All right. So
well done.
So we're gonna give some names out here. You're right. So we're gonna give some names out. So here's what we're gonna. What we'll do is if they're in line over there, we'll let them win anyway. We'll just tell them, okay? That way they don't lose their place. So let's give them one. So we're going to give away 5 prizes. This is for This is for a helmet, all right?
Jordan, thank you for helping us.
What's your last name?
How about that? My man.
Jordan.
What a pull.
Jordan just drew Jordan. Okay, so there you go. Fair enough, Jordan.
That's
that helmet,
fantastic.
Grab
You
one
got
of
a
those
helmet.
helmets. That helmet is yours. Well done. Let's draw another one out of here, Tom. Nice job. Jordan, draw another one.
Still working.
Yeah, Jordan's still working. All right, so we have one winner already. The second winner goes to Josh Sanford. Okay. We better have somebody else draw here, Tom. We better. There's no more Sanfords, right? Okay, we're gonna. Okay, so we have two winners. All right, give it that.
We've got one more helmet.
One
and two
more helmet.
gift
This is
cards.
a helmet. The helmet winner goes to Melinda Rodriguez. Is Melinda around? Where's Melinda? Is Melinda in line? Melinda Rodriguez just won. Okay. All right, so let's draw again. Let's mix them up a little bit here. We have two $100 gift cards to go. Someone draw one out for us. Let's draw two more draws. Is that Melinda? Yes. You are the winner of a helmet. Come over here, Melinda. Congratulations. Okay. That was it. She got a helmet, right? That helmet is yours. Congratulations. Thanks for coming in. This gift card, $100 gift card, goes to Rachel Whittle. Is Rachel here? I'll bet Rachel's here. Rachel gets a gift card. Rachel's going to come over here one time and pick up that gift card. Last prize of the day. Rachel gets one gift card. The last prize of the day. We had a good look at this crowd.
Yeah,
here.
it's fantastic.
And
Thank
by
you,
the way, in the case, for the rest of you, you still get autographs, so you're okay. All right. The last winner of the day is Kayla Mason. Is that your daughter? Okay, well, send her over here. Send her over here. So, okay. Is this Rachel? Is that Rachel? Look at this little guy.
Right.
This little guy. You get $100,
Big winner.
okay?
Big winner.
All that food comes to you, all right? And the last winner is Kayla. Kayla's going to come over here, too. We had some real winners in this group.
That was fantastic.
We had some real winners in this group. So the Sanford family mopped up over here, no question about it. So Kayla comes over here next. And as Kayla, we have Kayla is the winner. And so, all right. So congratulations to our 5 winners. We're still looking for Kayla. Do we see Kayla? Are you Kayla? Kayla, congratulations. You get a gift certificate. Enjoy it. Thanks for coming in. We sure appreciate that. So those are our winners. What a good day. We do want to thank again our friends from Coca-Cola, the Jaguars, Publix, this beautiful Publix. And I'll say it again. If you haven't been to this Publix, you're missing out. This thing is absolutely fantastic. It is again,
we're watching the Florida State game.
Yeah,
here, right?
I mean, there's no question. Those are 2 bar seats right there. I mean, it is a Publix with a sports bar. I mean, they got a bunch of craft beers on tap. They got a bunch of wine in the wine coolers. We're not making it up. It's a bar.
Yeah,
it's a bar. I'm never going to another Publix without a bar. I've decided that. So, but anyway, thank you to everyone who came in there. We sure do appreciate that very, very much. A couple more thoughts for Matt Hays. We bring in Matt Hays. I do want to remind you, by the way, autographs upstairs. You still have time to come get your autograph. We've got a big crowd in here meeting some Jaguar players. Again, Monteric Brown, Yasir Abdullah, Josiah DeGuara are the players that we think are upstairs right now, so you got a great chance to come and say hello. But back to another thought or two about the whole Florida Ole Miss thing. If Florida now is playing with this unreal confidence, maybe even making them a little better than they are. Sometimes you're a little bit better than you are because of the confidence you have. That can wane if you lose, but it is a very real confidence, and I think we've seen that. If they get a lead, even halfway through the game, if they get a lead early third quarter, I think they win the game. Now, having said all that, that can fade very quickly. If they get down 14-3, I don't think they come back. Do you see that kind of game?
I do see that kind of game because they're such a young team, and so it's going to be fragile. I don't worry really about the physical fatigue. I don't really worry that Ole Miss had a bye and Florida had to play LSU. I think at this point in the year and with this young a roster, I think that won't factor in. I just worry about, can the defense not give up something cheap? like they did to Texas. But we'll know very early. I mean, this Florida defense, when they've come to play, they let the opponent know on the first drive. Again, I go back to Dijon Johnson just leveling the LSU receiver on the jet sweep on 4th and 1 to get that big stop. And it just sort of springboarded the whole team for the remainder of the game. So I think certainly with Lagway, and again, this isn't Alabama coming to the Swamp.
Right.
This is a program that, trust me, is freaking out that they are going to blow this.
Yeah.
And so, that is something that I think can be very real in Florida's favor if Ole Miss does struggle early. Lane Kiffin knows. I mean, he knows what people say about him, that he's never been able to go win the big prize.
Right.
Ole Miss as a program, historically, this is the kind of game that Ole Miss loses, or won, maybe the Egg Bowl, something like that. Because normally they've just, in the years that they've been good, something has gone wrong late that has really derailed them having a chance to win something of consequence. So history favors Florida here. Certainly playing in the Swamp favors Florida. And again, I mean, until somebody slows down DJ Lagway, I almost think defenses are almost a little shocked by the fact everything is explosive. I mean, he doesn't throw anything 15 yards to the line of scrimmage. I mean, it almost seems like everything is pushed downfield, and you just don't see that. So I think, for your defensive backs, it's hard to get in that groove of this guy is going to try and hit an explosive on us every single time he drops back.
Right. The other side of that is Jackson Dart is really good. He's not ranked higher in the draft list than Garrett Nussmeier, but I don't know that I wouldn't rather have him as a college
His numbers are sensational.
His numbers are really good. This is his year. He's waited a long time for that. He's got a really good coach in Kiffin, an awfully good offensive coordinator in Charlie Weiss Jr., who's made a big difference. So it's a really good
I do wonder how close to 100% he will be. We saw the injury against Georgia. He returned.
Right.
But you don't then know what did that ankle, knee, whatever it was, what did that injury do in the days once his body had kind of settled down. Now they've had a bye week, obviously, and I'm sure obviously he's going to play. But will he be 100%? He might be. Or do you see some limitation in Jackson Dart?
All right, we will certainly see. All right, we'll take a break. Matt Hays and I will check in on more of this. It is our SEC report brought to you by Underwood Jewelers. That's next. Stay with us.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Frank Frangie here. These days, it's hard to know which companies to trust. But when it comes to banking, I trust South State Bank. South State truly values its customers, and they work hard to create meaningful, lasting relationships. I love going into my local branch. I see the same smiling faces I've seen for years. South State is the largest bank headquartered in Florida, so they're able to offer all the banking services you need. You can trust South State Bank. Banking forward. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
They may not make a lot of plays.
Good snap. Good hole.
But sometimes they make the most important play.
The best kickers in the league year in and year out.
Listen for the Crown Royal Special Teams Player of the Game on 1010XL. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
This is Josh Woolsey with Woolsey Morecambe. Woolsey Morecambe is your MVP in the legal game. Our team of skilled attorneys tackle personal injury cases with compassion and expertise. With fumbles like a car or truck accident, we're here to seek the compensation you deserve. Right here in Jacksonville, we've successfully won over $100 million and earned a championship-worthy record. When it's game time, you want a team that plays to win. Contact Woolsey Morecambe at 1-800-WOOLSEY. Offices, Jacksonville.
Hey everybody, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods. Dandy subs and sandwiches. Look, we always want you to think about those great options as you're driving around Duval. But the beauty is, even as I'm dropping pounds, Dandy's got great options for me as well. Told you all about their protein packs, delicious salads that they have out there. They have fruit cups for on the go. You know what they have. Veggie snack trays. You can grab those on the go as well. Perfect, healthy snack. Dandy is the name to know when you're on the go. So stop into a Gate store anywhere around Duval and make yours a Dandy. And do it today.
Hey Jacksonville, it's Lauren Brooks from Helmets and Heels. If your car needs an oil change, now's the perfect time to visit Big Chief Tire. They're offering $10 off your next oil change at any of their 5 locations across Jacksonville. Their expert technicians will get you in and out quickly so your car stays in top shape. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com or call 904-932-0950 to schedule your appointment today. Big Chief Tire keeps Jacks rolling.
Cooking with Crisco.
These things are wonderful. You're going to love it. Have a rolling.
Catch CBS Sports senior NFL writer Pete Prisco every Friday afternoon on The Frangie Show. Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles on 1010XL.
Hey, gang, Prosser here to save you some cash. Maximize your home sale now with the market experts who deliver more money in less time, and those experts are Chad and Sandy Newman. Maybe you're worried about costly repairs or upgrades needed to sell your home. You don't have to worry. The worries are relieved with Chad and Sandy, the local real estate experts we are trusting and recommending with the sale of your home. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. Mortgage rates are down. It's time to create your market. Marvin in Cobblestone writes, my siblings and I moved our parents to Maryland so they can get some extra help as they get older. Next, we had to sell the home to get them some financial help for their extra care. We hired Chad and Sandy, and they delivered big. Chad and Sandy's team got our home sold in 7 days above asking price. You can too. Call Chad and Sandy today, 904-414-6200, or go to chadandsandy.com. That's Chad, ANDSANDY.com.
When you're injured, you probably have more questions than answers, and all you really want is to feel better. This is Joe C., and I certainly can identify. Well, thanks to Rebound Rehab, I bounced back from a serious case of ankle tendonitis to feel pain-free. They can do the same for you. 8 locations across the First Coast and a team of physical therapists ready to help. From laser and radio pressure wave therapy to aquatic and massage therapy, they can offer real solutions to help you rebound. Log on, reboundrehab.com, and start your path back to pain-free life.
Tailgate special alert. 3 pounds of marinated chicken, 2 pounds of marinated steak tips, 2 pounds of fresh ground beef, and 2 pounds of homemade sausage for only $80 to feed your crew.
For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
How long would it take to reach the moon from Earth at the speed of light?
Hurricane season is here. And now is the time to ask your agent about your homeowner's coverage. It's time to make the change to Southern Oak Insurance.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
It would take only 1 second. That's right, just 1 second to reach the moon at the speed of light, and only minutes to reach the sun.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours. Holidays are here, and if you're in need of extra cash, Beaches Jewelry and Pawn can help. Gold is at record highs. It's a great time to sell. Bring in your gold for an estimate today. Beaches Jewelry and Pawn in Jacks Beach. Online at beachesjewelryandpawn.com.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool? Our first contestant, a stay-at-home gymnast from Jacksonville, Florida. It's Gwendolyn Beers.
Thank you, Monty. I don't know who installed my air conditioner, but it hasn't had a tune-up in over 3 years. Am I cool?
Let's ask our expert judging panel. Judges? I'm sorry, Gwendolyn. You're not cool. Johnny, tell her why.
That's right. To keep your air conditioner performing at its best, you need a skilled technician to check your pressures, voltages, and air filters in the fall and the spring. At Bueller Air and Plumbing, our club members get 2 free visits a year to make sure that you are cool.
Can you tell me if my haircut is sexy?
You're better off not asking.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Hey, it's Mike Dempsey, and you know how I feel about Pella Windows and Doors. Great design, strongest warranties, and the highest quality product. I even chose Pella Windows for my own home. And whether you're a homeowner replacing windows or building a new home or a trade professional working with clients, I know the design experts at Pella will help your project run smoothly and look great. Visit PellaJacks.com or the Pella showroom on Phillips Highway. That's Pella Windows and Doors.
I'm Max Fink here with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. Friday Night Lights got a little more important over the weekend as the first round of the FHSAA playoffs kicked off. Starting at Bowles, the Bulldogs easily took care of business against Taylor County 49-0. Once again, Naheem Burrows stole the show, grabbing 5 passes for 141 yards and 2 touchdowns. They also had 3 players score rushing touchdowns. The Bulls remains at home, round 2 taking on Walton High School Friday at 7:30. The Mandarin Mustangs fell 17-14 to the Oakleaf Knights on Saturday as the game came down to a fourth-quarter field goal. Senior receiver Carlos Witherup led the way for the Knights with 4 catches, 111 yards, and a score. Oakleaf gets ready for a massive local game Friday night as they head to Nice High School. It's 75 degrees at 5:01. Time and Temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Time to talk all things SEC. Brought to you by Underwood Jewelers with college football insider Matt Hays on The Frangie Show.
All right, let's talk about SEC with my boy Matt Hays, who joins us now. As always, brought to you by our friends at Underwood Jewelers. We appreciate Underwood Jewelers sponsoring college football around here for the longest time. Matt, all kind of stuff to get into in the game, but let's start with last week, Tennessee, Georgia. Just when it looked like Georgia there might be some cracks in the armor there, just like it looked like Tennessee was coming on. Georgia was Georgia. What do you call them? The boogeyman? Is that how you say it? Georgia looked good last week. They looked good last week, didn't they?
They did. We thought there might have been a little slippage, but, I mean, they seem to just, when they need it most, they can reach back and grab it. And it's impressive what they do. I mean, Carson Beck, we all saw what he had done the previous 6 games, 12 interceptions. The receivers weren't helping him out. The protection was spotty, and then they get their backs to the wall, and all of a sudden he plays maybe the best game of his career, and they protect him, and receivers catch everything, and away they go. It's again, if they play to their potential, Frank, I don't think anybody beats them. But at this point, I think it's very fair to say you have no idea what you're going to get from them week to week.
If you were doing the Matt Hays SEC Power Poll 1 through 5 or whatever deep you want to go, how would you do it? How if you had to do it? You don't have to get it right. Just off the top of your head, as you say it right now, give me 1 through 5 in order.
So let me say this to you, okay? Because this might be an interesting way for you to look at this. Okay. So there are 6 legitimate SEC candidates for the CFP, okay? Alabama, Georgia, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Texas, and Texas A&M. All right. Now, Texas has played one of those other 5 and lost by 15 at home. Texas A&M hasn't played any of the other 5. The other guys have played each other, beat each other up. Texas and Texas A&M will play in the last week of the season. The winner will go to the SEC championship game. So the imbalanced schedule is definitely having an impact on how you kind of assess and analyze who the best teams are. I don't think Texas or Texas A&M are as good as the other 4 that I mentioned. If I had to rank them right now, all things being equal, with everybody playing at the top of their game, I would say Georgia 1, Ole Miss 2, Alabama 3, Tennessee 4, Texas 5, Texas A&M 6.
You know what's funny about that? My list was exactly the same as yours, except I'd have Alabama ahead of Ole Miss. But the point is, I would have the Texas schools at the bottom too. I agree with you. I think that list. I think my power poll would be very similar to yours, other than maybe flopping Alabama and Ole Miss. So how many get in, Matt? How, in your opinion, when it's all set, 4? Do 4 get into the 12?
Yeah, I think 4 get in. And it's unfortunate because there's going to be a couple who are going to get left out. So I think 4 get in. I think 4 get in to the Big Ten as well, unless Ohio State absolutely crushes Indiana, beats them by 42-7, something like that, then I think Indiana will drop out. But if Indiana stays close, Frank, within, 14, 17 points, I think they're in. Because clearly this selection committee values wins over losses, to be frank. It's not about significant wins or schedule strength. It's about wins. Because Penn State has not beaten a team in the top 25. Indiana has not beaten a team in the top 25. Indiana, the best team they beat is 6-5 Washington. Everybody else has a losing record on their schedule. But the problem is there are former coaches on that selection committee that I can guarantee you, Frank, are in that room telling all those other voters, some of them who are not football people, boy, it sure is hard being unbeaten. I don't care who you play, and I don't care what what league you're in, it's hard to be unbeaten, to which an SEC AD told me for a story I wrote today at USA Today is, yeah, well, Liberty was unbeaten last year too. What does that mean? And it's a good point. It's a fair point. So long story short, I think you'll see, unless Indiana gets blown out, you'll see 4 from the Big Ten, 4 from the SEC, 1 each from the ACC and the Big 12 and Notre Dame.
All right, having said all that, let's get to the Gators for a second. You called it. You said it. You thought LSU would beat Florida would beat LSU. Hays Carlyon said it too. You guys both called it. But you were confident all week long. You never wavered from it. How much has LSU slipped? And I asked you this question all the time about Brian Kelly. I don't want to say unhinged. That's probably that's too strong a word, Matt. But, man, he seems unglued on that sideline. He seems unhappy. He seems like he's not at a place he wants to be. He just got beat by double digits by a team that hasn't had a big win in a long time. You weren't surprised. I'm not saying I was surprised, but you picked the games. You're not surprised. But where's LSU now under Brian Kelly, in your opinion?
So I think he's unhappy, Frank, because he can't get them to play 4 quarters, number one. He's unhappy specifically at Chris Hilton because they've tried to coach him now for weeks. Stop jumping. Run through the ball and catch it. And he keeps jumping and miss jumps. And he high points, and the ball's not close to him at that point. It cost them early in the first quarter on a deep ball. It cost them a touchdown pass in the end zone. He misread it and he jumped wrong, and then he pulled his arms in instead of keeping them out. They're trying to coach him, and he's not taking coaching. I guess that's the best way to say it. And Brian got a little upset on the sideline about it. And was it R-rated language? Yeah, of course it was. But what football player has not got into that? You got to be able to take hard coaching, and I think that's, I'm not talking about belittling, Frank. I'm just talking about like hard, difficult coaching. Like there's got to be times when you can take that, and I think Brian's frustration is this team does not take the coaching. This team does not take the hard coaching. They can't run the ball. They're not as physical as he thought they'd be. They're last in the SEC in rushing. Defensively, the defensive line's not good. It's very similar, Frank, to what happened at Notre Dame in 2016 when they bottomed out at 4 wins and everybody was saying, "Oh no, Brian Kelly's going to be gone soon." And then he reeled off the best run in Notre Dame history. So I wouldn't count him out just yet at LSU. I can tell you that.
My gut tells me he's a good coach. No one's debating that. But my gut tells me that fit's going to end sooner rather than later, and maybe mutual. By the way, I don't think they're going to go fire Brian Kelly, but I think I don't know. It's weird. We'll see what winds up happening. Let's get to Florida, who won that game. Boy, it seems like they're flawed in many ways. I still question some things Billy Napier does as a play caller. I don't love their offense. The shifting, clapping, shifting, changing, getting under the place.
It's so frustrating to watch that offense.
It is. I don't like it at all. But having said all that, he's got them playing hard. He's got them playing with some purpose. It's clearly an ascending program. They're starting to get some recruits now. How much has Florida gained? How much better have they gotten in your mind, and do they have a chance against Ole Miss?
Well, first, before we get to Ole Miss, I guess we have to acknowledge that. I mean, the idea is they're going to keep him, and I guess that's what we have to go by now, right? Because not only that's what they said, even though that statement was a little ambiguous. The idea is instead of paying him the money to walk away, you start throwing money at recruits. And how many recruits have they flipped in the last week now? 2 or 3?
3 or 4,
including the quarterback from Mandarin. So, I understand where they're headed and what they're doing, and the fact that the youth on their roster, the underclassmen, the freshmen, the sophomore, where the team is, and I think they're starting to play harder for him, and I think the young guys are now starting to get it. And Lagway's really talented. There's no doubt about it. I mean, imagine how good they could be if Eugene Wilson was healthy. Then you've got Eugene Wilson, you got Badger, you got DK. You've got 3 legit threats out there. I think they could do a lot more if they had 3 guys like that. I think Ole Miss is a very, very heavy lift for them because Ole Miss can run the ball. LSU could not run the ball. Ole Miss can get after the quarterback. They lead the nation in sacks. LSU cannot get after the quarterback. And I think those are very difficult things right now for Florida. Florida's in a tough spot. It's going to help that they're at home. It's going to help that I think you can run the ball on Ole Miss a little bit. And I don't know why Florida gave up on the run against LSU. That was odd. But I think you got to go in there with the idea of we got to run the ball. We got to keep that offense off the field because their receivers are really good. Trey Harris is coming back. Jackson Dart's a really accurate thrower. Charlie Weiss Jr. is just a phenomenal offensive coordinator for them. So that's going to be a very heavy lift for them this weekend.
Final question for you, and I'll probably ask you this the next 2 or 3 weeks. Who's going to be in the game? Is it because of the schedule? I think Texas is probably going to beat A&M. So is it that game's winner versus Georgia? And I don't even know how the tiebreaker stuff works.
If Alabama doesn't lose to Auburn, I think it's going to be Texas-Alabama is what it's probably going to look like.
Okay. And you know what?
And in that case, I think we all pick Alabama. Yeah, he can, but I think we'd all take Alabama in that game.
So let's assume that's it. Texas and Alabama get in the game. Alabama wins the game. And you're off the top of your head, Alabama, Texas, Georgia, and Ole Miss in? Is that, if you had to guess right now, right?
Yeah, that's probably it.
I mean, that leaves Tennessee out.
And then the Vols are out, which is not good.
Right. Yeah, interesting stuff. All right. Crazy. And here's one of the things we wrap. I'll tell you this. We all wanted it to go from 2 to 4. We all wanted it to go from 4 to 8, and we were elated it never went to 8. It went to 12. But if Tennessee's out, that tells you there's still not enough in. There's still not enough in it. It still tells you the one thing the basketball tournament does is it never leaves the champion home. You probably ultimately are going to have to get to 16, so you don't have to worry about leaving the champion home. And which, 14. By the way, at least 14, and I think probably more. We'll see if it happens. Matt Hays, great work as always. Talking SEC is brought to you by Underwood Jewelers. Thank you, Matty.
Okay, buddy.
All right, we'll take a break. Hays has headlines on the other side of this, so stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
It's all about picking winners.
Yes, it is.
Play 1010XL's weekly pick'em.
All right, let's do it.
Make the best picks and win a pizza party from Salvatore's Pizza at Tapestry Park.
Who wants pepperoni?
You pick 'em at 1010XL.com.
I'm Clayton Bromberg, the president of Underwoods. One of the biggest changes we've seen in fine jewelry over the last 25 years has been the growth of jewelry designers. At Underwoods, we're the leader, bringing to North Florida the best names in designer jewelry. In fact, we carry designer lines in a similar way to how clothing stores carry designer labels. The difference is that jewelry designers have to be a little more timeless in their presentations because nobody wants to buy a fine piece of jewelry only to find out the next year it's gone out of style. That's why you'll find at Underwoods the best of the jewelry designer names, those that are tried and true and popular. Names like David Yerman, Roberto Coin, John Hardy, Marco Bichigo, Jude Francis, Lagos, Hippolyta, and a lot more are all available right now at Underwoods. So if you want the best looks in designer jewelry, stop by Underwoods, San Marco, Avondale, or the shops of Ponte Vedra.
I-9 Sports covers the First Coast with great sports for kids 3 to 17, and winter and spring registration is open right now. New girls volleyball and flag at Duval Charter, plus plenty for boys and girls in Nocatee, too. It's all at i9sports.com. Enter 1010 in the promo code.
Yo, it's your boy E to the T here. And fellas, we all know that athletes train every day to perform better on the field, right? Well, what if you could enhance your performance in the bedroom? No training required. That's right. I'm talking about that secret weapon, Blue Chew. A chewable tablet with the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, Levitra, and Staxin that ships right to your door in a discreet package. No doctor visits, no trips to the pharmacy. It's all online. Their licensed medical providers work with you to find the right ingredients and strength for your prescription. They also have Daily Tad that contains 7 essential vitamins. And it's chewable too. And now you can try Blue Chew for the free ski. That's right, for free on me. Visit BlueChew.com and enter my promo code 1010XL. You only have to pay $5 for shipping. Turn that oh no into a oh yeah. That's promo code 1010XL. Let your boy hook you up with some Blue Chew. Get your confidence back. Visit BlueChew.com.
This is Hays Carlyon from my friend Holt at Harold and Harold. There doesn't seem to be enough time in the day to get everything done. Then you get injured in an accident and you don't know what you're going to do. Let Harold and Harold make it easy for you. Easy on becoming a client. You can just text or email if you want. Easy on finding a doctor and getting through the process. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, call Harold and Harold and make it easy on yourself. Call them at 904-251-1111. That's 251-1111.
To get this thing unwrapped here.
Prize.
Ross, what in the world are you doing working on your Duval?
That's right, Dan. I really identify with Duval.
You live in St. John's County, knucklehead.
I mean the Duval sub, the Daily Stash Duval. Turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheeses. Lettuce, tomato, crispy and fresh, like me. I'm sure there's a Daily Stash sub that sums you up.
The boss.
Because, of course.
Oven roasted beef, Munster cheese, roasted mushrooms, caramelized onions. It's the boss of all subs. Only available for me.
That's just not true.
What do you mean? I walked in the other day, screamed, "You know it," and said, "A boss for a boss."
Well, no matter who you are, there is a Daily Stash sandwich or sub for you.
Go find yours. They may even make you a boss.
I'm sure they will, because it is Daily Stash.
Where more is better.
And you got that right.
Every weekend is a stone cold sports weekend. Hey, Dan Hicken here. Watch for the Weekend with Dan on YouTube and Facebook, and I'll help you put together your sports weekend. Weekend with Dan brought to you by Stone Core. We do the outdoors better.
Jaguars fans, want to meet some of your favorite players? Coke Florida, Publix Supermarkets, and the Jags are giving you the chance. Join 1010XL at Publix, 170 Village Commons Drive, St. Augustine, Tuesday, November 19th at 5. For autographs, pictures, raffles, and more. Get off the sidelines and get to Publix to grab an ice-cold Coca-Cola, Coke Zero Sugar, or any of your favorite Coca-Cola beverages using Publix digital app. The Jaguars and Coke Florida. There's magic when we cheer together at Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
This is Chelsea with Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors. Here's what people are saying about working with us.
Installers were professional, courteous, and efficient.
Great customer service. On time, explained the process, and walked me through the installation. Amazing team.
Our experience with Renewal by Anderson was outstanding from the beginning to end.
Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit rbafla.com.
License number CGC 1527613.
Renewal by Anderson, Custom Windows and Doors.
Roland Reich Plumbing, there when you need them. Big or small plumbing problem, call Roland Reich Plumbing anytime at 260-7059. 260-7059, where quality and experience count.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist is now offering ortho walk-in appointments. If you have an immediate need for orthopedic care, contact Southeast Orthopedic Specialist immediately. Avoid ERs and urgent care waiting rooms. For more information, go to se-ortho.com.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Gather round. It's Hays' Headlines, presented by Harrell & Harrell. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Hear all about it. Here's Hays Carlyon.
All right, welcome back to the Frangie Show. Frank Frangie is here. We've got Tom Champion helping us out here at Publix across the street from Tecoit Creek. And JJ LaSilva back at World Headquarters. Thanks to our friends at Harrell & Harrell. Give them a call at 251-1111. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're injured, that is who you need to put your trust into. All right, Frank, we'll start with the NFL Monday Night Football recap. The Texans mauled the Cowboys 34-10. Running back Joe Mixon scores 3 touchdowns. Houston improves to 7-4, while the Cowboys drop to 3-7.
Yeah, the Cowboys are a disaster, even before Dak got hurt, and now without Dak, they have no chance with Cooper Rush. As for the Texans, look, I'll give the Texans credit. They looked really good to start the season in year 2 for C.J. Stroud. That boat took on some water, clearly. But I will tell you, they're rallying at the right time, and they're going to have an easy run to the division. Now, look. Last year at 8-3, the Jags looked like they had an easy run to the division, but I think the Texans will. When the Texans ever get completely healthy, they're a pretty good football team.
Yeah, I still haven't really been all that impressed with Houston. Obviously, you have to be impressed with a 24-point win, but in the third quarter, that looked like it was going to be a game Houston might give away, and then the Cowboys just were absolutely putrid. But credit to the Texans. who improved to 7-4. The New York Jets embark on a house cleaning, Frank, as they fired general manager Joe Douglas today. The team had already dismissed coach Robert Saleh earlier this season. So new GM, new head coach coming to the New York Jets this offseason.
If you count coordinators, it's been a busy 3-4 weeks, hasn't it? A lot of people are firing this coach and that coach. Look, the Jets thing's a disaster. You want to start comparing? Look, nobody around here feels good about 2-9. But most people that I know, not everybody, but most people I know feel like Trevor Lawrence here for the long haul, Josh Hines Allen, Trayvon Walker here for the long haul, Brian Thomas Jr. here for the long haul, some young stars like Brenton Strange and Parker Washington, Tank Bigsby and Ventrell Miller. There's a foundation here. They're really a Tyson Campbell. There's a foundation here. You got to get it right, and it didn't go right this year. And so we'll figure out who's in charge next year if it changes. But the Jets are a disaster. The Jets actually looked like a pretty good defense last year that added one of the best quarterbacks in the last 20 years, meaning they would be good, and it's been awful.
It's been really, really awful. And so